Hello everyone. I hope everyone is having a good evening or had a great day. Today is Thursday, August 10th. And as I said, I would update you all on my doctor's appointment that I had earlier today. And you may know, or if you're just tuning into my channel, I am on a journey to get weight off so that I may be placed on the transplant list. I am in the urgent need of a double lung transplant. The weight was a serious issue as far as getting me an appointment for the evaluation center, for the evaluation department at one of the transplant centers. Excuse me. So I would be, my doctors will be resending paperwork soon, and to update my situation here. I am in a urgent situation. Things had started to decline. My lungs had started to decline. They were stable at one point, which anyone with the pulmonary fibrosis disease, we go through different stages. Some stages you'll sit there with no movement at all, and we have some stages where we would have power movements, is what I like to call them, where your lungs would go as far as honeycombing. And honeycombing is when your lungs would just start to deteriorate. They would start to decline, and they would go down. Sorry, I had someone just walk in. They didn't know I was making my video. I'm sorry. So I would have throbbing. I can feel it. So I was aware that my function had dropped. So that was a few weeks ago, and I went to the doctor today, and they spoke with me deeper about the situation. That yes, your function, your lung function has dropped. This is the worst that my doctors have seen my situation as far as the numbers since I've had this disease, which is pulmonary fibrosis, for those who may have just tuned in. And I took a test when I completed my classes over at rehab, pulmonary rehab, and they also test you in the beginning and the end, and then my doctors would retest, because everyone's machines are different in equipment or tools or whatever you want to call them. It depends on where you're having the test done. And right now I am in a urgent stage where the weight, I have shown great progress in losing the weight. I have worked very hard, but I am also on steroids, which is prednisone, and it causes tremendous weight gain. But I have been tapered down, tapered, or however they call it, down to 10 milligrams a day. And as of today, my doctor, the pulmonologist team, is requesting that I start on 10 milligram every other day to even help more with the weight. I don't have a whole lot to go with the weight, but it's very dangerous being overweight trying to get a lung transplant. It just doesn't work out, and they're very strict on that. So I have been working very, very hard. As a matter of fact, towards the end of the weight loss journey seems to be the hardest. It's harder than the beginning was. I thought the beginning was rough, but now that I'm so close to that point, it's so hard, because it goes between you're 3 pounds bigger one day and 3 pounds smaller the next day because of, you know, different medications, or, you know, maybe you drunk something, or, you know, just something you ate. It just all depends. And I'm pretty much watching my weight. I eat lots of healthy smoothies. I make my own smoothies, homemade smoothies, and I eat very healthy. I also have a stomach issue, which is abdominal issues right now, that's also causing some of the weight to hang on to my body. But I pray that that gets taken care of very soon. My doctors are very pleased with my progress. I probably said that earlier in another video, but I am happy that they were happy. I was a little bit hurt. My heart was a little bit hurt to find out that even since my last test that they are still declining, because I've had a CT scan ordered and done at the hospital, and I just have to stay prayed up, and I have to keep the faith and remember that God is my healer and that God is the doctor. He is Dr. Jesus. So I'm going to just read a little bit here about the my notes here about the pulmonary function test, in case anybody was wondering what type of test that they are performing to find out about my lungs declining. The pulmonary function test, they PFTs for short, are breathing tests to find out how well you move air in and out of your lungs and how well oxygen enters your body. The most common PFTs are spirometry, diffusion studies, and body. Sometimes only one test is done. Other times all tests will be scheduled, often on the same day. I have went through every possible test that it possibly is with my situation here. Lung function tests can be used to compare your lung function with known standards that show how well your lungs should be working. They would compare them to the numbers that they're supposed to be and to the numbers that they actually are, and that's how they determine some of your numbers that's on there. Measure the effect of chronic diseases like asthma, chronic obstructive lung disease, COPD, or cystic fibrosis on lungs. Identify early changes in lung function that might show a need for a change in treatment. Detect narrowing in the airways. Decide if a medicine such as, which is bronchodilator, could be helpful to use. Show whether exposure to substance in your home or workplace have harmed your lungs. Determine your ability to tolerate surgery and medical procedures. Those were just some of the pointers of why the pulmonary function tests are performed and some of the things that they do. So I have went through several of those tests, and here is just a brief little, I'm not going to get too deep and too personal, but these are just pictures of some of my tests and some of my numbers. Right now, at this point, I have to keep fighting on this journey to continue with the weight loss, and I know that my Lord and Savior is a healer, and this journey has not been easy, and all I can say is I do thank God for allowing me to share my story in bits and pieces as I go along through this journey. And this disease is so dangerous. It's horrible. 1 month, you can be sitting fine and no problems at all. And the next week, things just get to the point where you can hardly breathe with or without the oxygen. So that's why you have to be very, very careful who you're around with this disease. You're not supposed to be around anyone that's sick or, you know, fume, smoke. You just have to be very careful, because I can, you know, a person with pulmonary fibrosis, such as myself, can catch a cold and end up in the hospital getting treated, you know, for that because you didn't catch it in time, or you didn't clear it up in time, or you didn't take the right medication. So we just have to be very, very careful with this situation here. And I am on this journey, this weight loss journey. It has been rough, but I will not give up. I will fight to the end. I know that God has something in store for me. He has something waiting on me, and He has something waiting for me. So I am making a vow to the Lord that I will finish this race, and I will come out on top, and I will come out with a testimony, because I know that this double lung transplant will be mine soon. Thank you all for watching, and I will be back with more updates. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and may God bless.